Good morning. Hello. It's the Monday morning show, and if there isn't a Monday to talk about routines, let's pick this one. Oh my. I hope and pray that everyone's doing okay. If you're new here, my name is Carol Harvey. I run a purpose-driven mom, and I help overwhelmed moms develop systems and routines so that they can be less stressed. And if there is ever a time where moms are feeling kind of a little stressed right now, it's definitely gonna be now. I hope that you're feeling okay. I know that it can be scary going into a time where you don't know what's going on, you don't know your routines, you're kind of feeling a little up in the air. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Give yourself some grace as you go into things and just know that it's not gonna be perfect and it's fine. I woke up late this morning. I was rushing to get here on time. My kids are home, and so if you are a work-at-home mom and you need some help figuring out things to do, honestly, right now they're just watching TV, so I could do this live for 10 minutes. It is what it is. You'll figure it out too. But today, actually, I want to talk about how you can fit in time for you. In this crazy time, yes, we need this a lot. The Purpose-Driven Mom Summit is coming next week, and hey, it's not going to get canceled. We're all virtual, so we won't be around each other. If you haven't gotten your tickets, you can go to purposedrivenmom.com/summit2020. It's linked up in my bio and in the description here on Facebook. But I want to talk to you about how you're going to find time to actually fit it in. Because maybe right now you're just in panic mode trying to fit in things for your kids. I get that. It's also important, though, to find time for you, which is why I think the summit is going to be really key for the moms who attend, because honestly, a lot of what's happening right now, it's falling on us to run the errands and get the things and stand in the lines and organize the new schedules, right? It kind of falls on the mom's shoulder. And so I really want to encourage you next week to join us so that you don't forget about you during this kind of crazy time. Now, what do you do? How do you fit it in? How do you prioritize? These are going to be my suggestions how to fit in any sort of learning time, but in general for the summit. What I recommend you do is you pick one time block a day that's considered your learning block. It doesn't have to be a huge block. I recommend time blocking 3 to 5 hours. Maybe during one of those 3 to 5 hour blocks, your kids are doing their learning time. This is where maybe they're doing an activity on the computer. You've seen there's a whole bunch of free apps they can use. They can take Zoo tours, whatever. This could be when they're doing a workbook. This can be my oldest. His school is straight up virtual all week. He has to show up for every single one of his classes and just move into different video rooms, like they've got it set. So maybe during one of their learning blocks, you make that mommy learning block time. Now, if you're like, that's not gonna work, I've got littles, their attention span is like 10 minutes, think about how you can be creative about the time. If they're playing outside, can you be listening to a podcast? Now, one of the things I haven't officially announced is that for the VIP pass, I do have MP3s coming for every single session, which means that instead of carrying around your laptop or your phone, you can download them right to your iTunes on your phone and listen to them as you're folding the laundry or taking a family walk or your kids are playing in the yard. This can be a great time to sneak in some learning in sessions. This is great if you like audiobooks, if you like podcasts. You can find really great ways to get it in. I also use my car right now. I'm sure a lot of us aren't driving, but I will give you this tip in case you are. We call it Drive Time University. You literally could get a degree with the amount of learning you can do in a car between podcasts and audiobooks and all those sort of things, right? So when you're in your car, ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I just listening to the radio? Is anything happening in my car that's filling me up? Because if it's not, then I'm going to recommend you start Drive Time University and you go ahead and you start listening to things. So in particular for the summit, like I said, if you have the VIP pass, you could download these MP3s and just listen to them. If you don't, that's okay as well. So for the summit, presentations with a free pass, they're up for 24 hours. So 9 a.m. on Monday, my first session goes live. By 9 a.m. Tuesday, it's gone. But if you want to prioritize that session, you can still get it in. You can have your laptop up while you're cooking dinner, or again, while your kids are playing outside, you can have a tablet, put it up and keep an ear out for it. There's plenty of ways to get it in. It's key to, one, create the time. Say where, when it's going to happen and where it's going to happen. Those are key, when and where. But the other thing you have to determine is what is going to be happening. If I'm doing my learning time, what am I actually doing? So if you're reading a book, we do a book club in the Purpose-Driven Mom Club. What we do is we pre-identify what we're reading. So we take the book, say it's 300 pages. I want to finish it by the end of the month. I do some math. 300 divided by 30 for 30 days in a month is 10 pages a day. You can go ahead before you even start the book. Do your math, divide it up. Say, I'm going to read this chapter, this chapter, this chapter. You're going to predetermine it all. Going back to a course, if you're taking a virtual course, how many modules are in your virtual course? How many are you going to do each day? Which days are you going to do them? The reason that predetermining works so well is because we, as moms, have this thing called decision fatigue, where there is just so many things that we have to decide. And right now, oh my goodness, my brain is spinning right now with the amount of decisions I have to make. The last thing I want to decide is what chapter I'm supposed to be reading in my book so I don't get behind for book club. Let's be real. So yesterday I went into my Trello board, which is where I planned it all out, and I saw, oh, okay, we're reading You Are the Girl for the Job. That's our book club book. And I should have read up to chapters like, I think 12 as of yesterday. And I got behind on that. So I know this week, all right, I'm going to have to double up a chapter somewhere. I have to catch up. Instead of saying, where am I supposed to be? There's 2 weeks left in the month. Am I behind on this book? At the start of the month, I went through and pre-planned it, okay? So you figure out a few things. When you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, and what you're going to do. So what this looks like in terms of the summit, I want you to go through and look at the presentations and say, okay, which of these presentations makes the most sense for me? Which one is important in my priority? So right now, a lot of moms are probably gonna be like, I didn't think I wanted to watch that homeschooling one because I don't homeschool, but I'm home with my kids, so I need to tune into Michelle's session on routines for homeschooling moms, like ASAP, priority number 1. Or maybe you're looking at Corinne's and she's doing a session on routines for your kids. Maybe last week that wasn't something you were going to check out at the summit, but maybe this week you're like, oh, I need that. So go through and look at all of the sessions. You can print out the schedule if you have your free ticket and put it in order. Which ones am I going to get to? This way, if things happen, life gets busy, you're like, all right, I can't get to all 25 sessions in a week. Honestly, I start watching the ones I didn't interview, so half are interviews and half are not. The ones I didn't interview and the ones I didn't do, I'm watching them this week because I know that next week running the event, it's gonna be near impossible for me to get all 25 in, right, live. So I watch them in advance too. Say, these are the ones I wanna make sure I get in before they expire. Or if you have the free pass, the VIP pass, these are the ones I'm prioritizing. And then these are the ones that are like important that I get in. All right. And again, your priorities last week might not have been homeschooling and routines for your kids, but maybe this week you're like putting it in the Google Cal. Like, I'm not going to miss this. All right. I even have, fingers crossed, hopefully, again, things are changing with kids home. I wanted to have a little quiz for you where you can put in your top priorities and it'll spit you out which sessions you should prioritize if you need help with this. Fingers crossed it's going to be done by tomorrow. I wanted it done by the end of the day today. We're going to see how things go. We're being a little flexible with it. But when you're trying to create any learning plan, whether it's for the summit or just anything in general, let's recap. Where you're doing it, when you're doing it, what you're doing, how you're doing, and then just reminding yourself why. Why are you spending time to get in learning for you? 1, you matter. We're focusing so much right now on our kids' routines, aren't we? Did you stop to say, when am I going to do this for me? Yesterday, I spent my day like planning the routines out. Like I've got, all the things for my kids because I'm not only am I working from home, my conference is next week. We have almost 2,000 women as of this morning signed up for this thing. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to get all this done? So I spent the day on them. I got to the end of the day and I did our live video in the Purpose Driven Mom Club. And I said to them, I was like, y'all, like I haven't done, like I didn't do anything. And I had to pause my day to just like decompress and do something for me because I was burning out. And in the next few weeks, you will burn out as a mom if you don't take any time for you. So whether you're joining us at the summit, which again, apurposedrivenmom.com/summit2020, message me if you need the link. Yes, would I love you to join? Of course I would. Of course I would. But whatever you do, whether it's sitting with a book or creating time to listen to a podcast or anything that you're gonna do, I recommend you have learning time. And this is part of your self-care, but it's in addition to the hobby self-care, right? We talk about different forms of self-care. Learning is self-care. You deserve to develop and grow. This month, I picked a theme, which is something I do every month. I pick a theme for my learning, and this month is actually hormonal health and gut health. And so I've been watching, I took 2 courses on gut health. If you follow me, seen my stories on Instagram, I've been sharing these things because I'm focusing on them. I'm listening to podcasts, reading books about it. I pick a theme every month, and that's how I do mine. Because if I'm not learning and growing and I'm just giving, serving, which is okay, right? Like we need to give, we need to serve. That's part of what we do as women, as moms, as humans. But if I don't bring anything back in for me, I'm gonna feel resentful. I'm gonna feel irritated. I'm gonna feel burnout, and I don't want that for you. So listen, I'm hoping to have the quiz for you soon. If you don't have your pass, you can go to apurposedrivenmom.com/summit2020. Send me a message if you need the link. But I want you to go through today. If you do have your pass, you're one of the almost 2,000 women joining us next week. Go into the schedule, look at the schedule. I want you to pick what your priority is for each day. Pick one session that you're like, this is my must watch. And then underneath it, say, this is my second must watch, my third, my fourth, my fifth. So that if you have extra time, you know what to get to. If you only have time for one, you know how you can get them in. Sessions are between 35 and 50 minutes. So, luckily if you have the VIP, you can easily pause the MP3. Even on the videos, you can pause and come back to it, okay? You don't have to sit for a full hour. You've got flexibility. I really hope that you join us at the summit. If you have any questions on how you can get your learning time in, just send me a message. I'd love to chat more. I'm gonna say adios over here on Instagram.